Hi everyone, Chelsea here, jumping in before this week's dive into thrilling local folklore to share some exciting news. Alderney Landing's Blue Nose Ghost Festival is returning to downtown Dartmouth this year from October 4th to the 31st. For those not familiar, this is a haunted experience designed by the creative geniuses at East Coast Scares. The haunts are inspired by spooky stories collected by Helen Creighton, our favorite local folklorist, who was the author of the famous book Blue Nose Ghosts and who called Dartmouth home. The highlights from this year's festival include The Manor, a terrifying new haunted house, Helen's Shanty, an escape room where you need to find clues, the Creighton Crypt Ride, which is a simulator ride with spine-chilling effects, and spiritual readings, where you get to connect with local mediums for a mystical experience. If you're looking for a scare this spooky season, make sure you check out the Blue Nose Ghosts Festival. We're proud to be collaborating with the festival this year, and we'll have a booth set up on October 18th to collect your spooky stories and hand out some stickers and zines. Now, here's a short teaser from one of our friends at the Creators Collective, a group of spooky indie podcasts. Our episode will be starting right after, and we hope you enjoy.
If you're anything like me, you're always hunting for stories that make your skin crawl in the best way. That's why I have to tell you about Grimly. Every week, they dig into the unholy, the unsolved, and the deeply unsettling. From chilling true crime to eerie tales that blur the line between fact and folklore. The production is hauntingly good, the storytelling absolutely captivating. It's the kind of podcast that stays with you long after you finish listening. So if you're ready to explore the darker side of history and humanity, subscribe to Grimly wherever you get your podcasts. Just don't say I didn't warn you.
From folklore and fairies
to monsters and mysteries, it came from the Maritimes.
He's coming to get you, Barbara. My co-host, Evan.
Walking into the light at the end of the tunnel, my co-host, Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to It Came From The Maritimes. It's only 2 days until Halloween, so we have a spooky one for you. Evan, do you have any Halloween plans?
Nothing in particular, probably just handing out some candy to the kids in the neighborhood.
I wish we got trick-or-treaters here, but we do not, so.
Fair enough. I know last year we stocked up on extra candy because we tend to have a lot of kids come through. And then it was pretty slow at the beginning of the night. So then we started giving out more. And then near the end of the night, we were like, oh, we need to slow right down.
That's it. All the other kids were probably like, this house is handing out handfuls of candy. You got to get there.
Well, that's the thing. We had little baggies with probably 3 or 4 treats in them, and then we started giving an extra handful because we were like, we cannot be left with 3 Costco boxes of candy because it will just not be good for us.
Well, I know where I'm going trick-or-treating this year.
Please.
This episode is one I am very excited about. In early October for my wedding anniversary, I made my husband, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but our producer Jeff, I do talk about wandering around with him a lot, so I feel like people have probably suspected.
I mean, I know, but I guess I knew before this podcast. So.
Exactly. So for our wedding anniversary, I got him to go to the haunted hotel we are discussing today. Now, it's a very nice hotel and well worth a visit in general, but I think we all know I wanted to go because it has a spooky history. And my husband, who is a very good sport about my spooky adventures, indulged me. Did we see any spirits while staying there? I guess you'll just have to listen to find out.
Ooh.
The Algonquin Resort is in the stunning seaside town of St. Andrews, New Brunswick. St. Andrews is considered Canada's first seaside resort town, and its current name dates back to 1783, when British loyalists colonized the area. Its beauty is renowned, and in 1998 it was even designated a National Historic Site. It was built to draw international visitors to Canada, and that it did. The Algonquin Resort has hosted royalty and political figures over the decades, including Princess Diana and Prince Charles in 1983 for you royal family fans.
Big Diana fan. Charles,
Evan's going to get us on a list. Although Stephen King has publicly stated that the Stanley Hotel in Colorado was the inspiration for his famous book, The Shining, rumor has it that he stayed at the Algonquin Hotel prior to writing it, so some wonder if it helped inspire his spooky novel. When it opened in 1889, the Algonquin Resort wowed both locals and visitors with its architecture and beautiful view of the Passamaquoddy Bay. The original building had 80 rooms and was considered a must-visit destination because the nearby Samson Spring was thought to have special powers. And as all Maritimers know, the sea air alone is curative. On April 11th, 1914, a fire sadly destroyed most of the hotel except for the painter wing containing guest rooms, the kitchen wing containing the kitchen, and the tower. Evan, you didn't laugh at my kitchen joke.
Just didn't even think.
Evan's just like deadpan across from me. And I'm like, man, I thought this was going to land.
I thought you were just telling the facts. I mean, the kitchen wing has the kitchen.
Oh, man. The following year, the hotel was rebuilt in its iconic white and black Tudor-style exterior. It also, at that point, got the red roof that it's well known for. They also added electricity and telephones to each room, and because of that, they increased the price from $3 to $4 a night.
I mean, that is a 33% increase in fee.
It is. I will say we spent much more than that, but it was worth every penny.
I mean, like, having electricity was probably nice.
Oh, big bonus. When you visit, you can expect to enjoy the Algonquin Hotel's sparkling pools, their award-winning golf course, their delicious food, and lovely strolls along the nearby Katie's Cove. Did you know that you might also meet some ghostly guests? Well, probably because you are listening to a folklore podcast. There are multiple spirits who haunt these historic halls. The first three we'll talk about are the ghosts of former employees who loved their time at the Algonquin so much, they decided to stay employed there forever.
Man, I gotta say, when I die, I'm not working anymore.
No, me neither.
I'm gonna retire.
Right? Like, if I could retire tomorrow and just do like the podcast full time, hey,
That's the dream.
I wouldn't hate it. The first spirit we'll be discussing is the ghost of a bellhop. He's known to be a helpful spirit and is spotted wearing a beige coat in the main floor elevator. His appearance resembles that of an older bellman. He provides restaurant suggestions for restaurants which shut down decades ago when he was still alive, and he offers to assist guests with their luggage, disappearing suddenly as soon as the guests enter their room. When guests have approached the concierge later, asking if they could leave a tip for the helpful bellhop, they are shocked when the concierge tells them there actually isn't a bellhop working in that elevator.
I'm most curious. So he can move the luggage.
He can.
Oh,
Very strong ghost.
apparently.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of bellhops, during the fire in 1914, a bellhop ran back into the resort to rescue the grand piano and the bell desk. Ever since then, the piano will play by itself. Guests staying in room 240 to 260 in particular will hear it playing during the night. They'll often check in with the hotel staff, asking them to stop whoever's using the piano because it's waking them up. There's also the spirit of a night watchman who hasn't yet clocked out, even in the afterlife. He wanders the halls of the Algonquin Resort after the sun sets. He lived in the staff residence, and rumor has it that he just happened to pass away one night while asleep. During the night, listen closely. You might hear footsteps patrolling the hall, even though no one, alive at least, is out there. If you hear keys jingling outside of your room or clanging against the stairwell railing when no one is around, it's a sure sign the ghost of the night watchman is performing his rounds.
Glad to know that we're being kept safe, though.
Right. There's also the ghost of a maid who stays busy at night at the Algonquin Resort. She's the spirit of an older woman who spends her time reorganizing table settings in the restaurant. Clearly, she doesn't think the table settings laid out by the staff are up to the old standards. Now, doesn't that remind you of Ivy at White Point Beach?
I was just about to say that. That sounds like Ivy. Man, these resorts.
That's it. They have high standards. They have big expectations.
Exactly. You die and you're still keeping them up.
Right? Now, let's move on to stories of the guests who haunt the hotel. The Algonquin Resort is known as a wedding destination. But, unfortunately, at least one bride there did not have the happiest day of her life. A young woman named Evelyn was meant to marry a fisherman there in 1915. Her husband-to-be went on a fishing trip the day before the ceremony, telling her he'd be back by the next day. She was frustrated by the timing, wanting to spend time with him leading up to the big day, but she comforted herself by assuming the nuptials could proceed as planned once he returned. Alas, he never did. She never did find out if he had passed away at sea or simply chose to run away. When the wedding couldn't go ahead as planned, she was distraught. She hid away in her hotel room, sobbing so loudly that she could be heard from down the hallway. Other hotel guests became concerned when they heard the sobbing abruptly stop, but there was no sign that the bride had emerged. They asked the bellman to check on her, and sadly, he found her dead. Rumors circulated as to whether she had died by her own hand or had passed away from a broken heart. Those who stay in room 473 report hearing heart-wrenching sobs, thought to be the ghost bride grieving what could have been. The apparition of Evelyn in her wedding dress has been seen quite often as well. Folks have also seen a woman in white through the tower window and think this could also be her. There is a persistent pool of water on the floor of room 473 that has been confirmed to not come from leaky plumbing. People believe this is the puddle that has collected as a result of the bride's tears. Those in rooms 373 and 273 below the bride's rooms have also had experiences. There's often flashes of lights or random loud noises. That's not the worst of it, though. If you stay in 473 expecting a romantic vacation with your partner, you've got that wrong. Romantic pairs who have stayed in that room have reported fighting nonstop while staying there, but going back to their normal happy relationship once they check out.
Jeez, that's no good.
That's it. She wants everyone to have an unhappy day. Now, our final spirit we'll talk about is Ben. He is the spirit of a young boy who likes to play on the property. His story is very tragic, so if a child passing away is not something you are comfortable hearing with, I would skip ahead a few minutes. His family was staying at the Algonquin Resort in the early 1900s. He was playing with his favorite toy, a red bouncy ball, throwing it against the wall and chasing it. He accidentally threw it out of an open window, and without thinking about how high up he was, he ran after it, falling out of the window and meeting an untimely end. He is spotted to this day on the 4th floor in the room he stayed in, throwing his red ball against the wall or running around the grounds and halls. Guests have reported feeling someone small brush past them and have heard the sound of running footsteps and a ghostly giggle accompanying them. His apparition is rumored to be seen in an old photograph in the basement of the hotel. I have it here to show Evan. Can you see him? Look to the left.
Is it like there's two spots, one in a chair and then one on the couch that could maybe be something, but I don't know if I'm just seeing the pattern weird.
So not those. Look to the very far edge of the left of the photograph, about midway up.
Oh, is it like face like on the wall there?
Yes.
Jeez, yeah.
As always, we need to look at this from different sides. The slightly skeptical side of me wonders if that just is some sort of like imprint of a...
You have another picture.
Yeah, it's spooky to say the least. So these are far from the only spirits haunting the Algonquin Resort. They're simply the most often seen. Rooms 308 and 373 also have their fair share of supernatural activity, and there are mysterious lights in the tower window, even though that tower has been inaccessible for years. Items often disappear from the 4th floor rooms, and there are frequent reports of doorknobs on the 2nd floor turning by themselves. Staff report receiving phone calls from empty rooms, but they really don't seem perturbed. They report that the spirits are all friendly, and the staff are happy to provide nightly ghost tours. The next time you're trying to decide where to visit on your East Coast vacation, consider the Algonquin Resort. They even have a Paranormal Investigator package if you're looking to add a spooky flair. So, Evan, you booking a room?
I don't think so, especially not on the 4th floor. It seems like the sketchiest one.
It does. There's a lot going on that 4th floor.
Yeah.
So, because this is right before Halloween, we're going to end the episode with a little Halloween quiz for Evan. First question, what Canadian province first used the term trick or treat?
I have no idea. I'm going to say Newfoundland?
No, so it was actually Alberta.
Oh.
So the first official written record of the term trick or treat ever being used was in a newspaper in 1927 in Blackie, Alberta, where the newspaper reporter stated that the pranksters had started declaring trick or treat before their nefarious deeds. Now, this one's kind of fun. What's the world's fastest pumpkin carving time?
I feel like that can vary a lot depending on what you're carving. I'm going to say...
So nose, mouth, ears, and eyes.
Ooh.
I don't know what ears are included, but apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, 22 seconds.
So 16.47 seconds in 2013 is the official fastest time according to the Guinness World Records.
Jeez, that's a quick time. That's dangerous.
Now, on this Fast Pumpkin Carver's Facebook page, he does state that in 2020, he broke his own record with 9.4 seconds, but that was not formally recorded. So,
Ooh.
Now, why are orange and black traditional Halloween colors?
I assumed it was just kind of fall colors.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, because orange symbolizes the harvest and black the darkness that comes after Samhain.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
How often is there a full moon on Halloween?
There's 12 full moons a year, but then...
Evan is crunching numbers.
Every 30th year?
19.
19, really?
So you're not terribly far.
No, I just assumed it'd kind of go whoop, whoop, one by day.
Now, final question. What was the original name of the controversial Halloween treat candy corn?
I feel like I've seen this before, but I don't remember. Is it something like calling it like teeth or something?
No, but that is horrifying. So it was originally called chicken feed, and it was first invented in the 1880s. And for some reason, they decided to target a sweet treat to folks in the agricultural industries. And since corn was fed to chicken, it got its name. Apparently, the slogan was something worth crowing for.
I gotta say, I'm not a fan of candy corn.
No, it's one of those things that every few years I'm like, I've got to try a bite of it. And it's never a great experience.
Never been happy with candy corn.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of It Came From The Maritimes. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at It Came From The Maritimes, on X and Blue Sky at ICFT Maritimes. And if you have any Atlantic Canada folklore you'd like to see covered, or any spooky encounters of your own, email us at itcamefromthemaritimes@gmail.com. And if you enjoy our podcast, please feel free to leave us a 5-star rating and review to help other folklore lovers find us. Also, we're now excited to be on Patreon. If you go check it out right now, you can see a sneak peek at the newsletter all tiers will receive monthly, with updates on future episodes, events, and a little behind-the-scene action. We'll also be sharing behind-the-scene photos that don't get released to our social media, early access to certain posts, as well as recommended reads. There's currently a haunted hangout where we discuss a location that we haven't dived into in an episode as of yet, and a folktale that comes from across Canada instead of just within our Atlantic Canadian provinces. So please, if you'd love to show the podcast some support, go check it out. So Evan, do you have a folklore tip to end today's episode?
I sure do. Today's tip is putting a shoe in the wall by your door will kick an evil spirit out.
Good to remember this time of year as the veil thins.
Exactly.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Bye.